Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining the Think Realty podcast. If you're viewing or you're listening, we're so excited you joined us on whatever platform you're consuming from. My name is Eddie Wilson. I'm the founder and CEO of Think Realty. And I had a dream in my heart to service real estate investors. I'm a third generation real estate investor and wanted to pass on all the things that I've been passed on to you. And so I'm so excited for you to continue to join us on our platform, as well as consume our podcast, come to our conferences, read our magazine. And as the host, periodically, I always bring on some great guests, some friends around the nation that I know can help you in your investing journey. And today is no exception. But before I get to our guest today, I want to say a quick thank you to Rent to Retirement, our podcast sponsor today. There's 20% return investing in turnkey rentals. Sound attractive? Rent to Retirement offers fully turnkey properties. They're newly built, renovated, leased, and managed, allowing you to invest with confidence out of state. They have single-family, multifamily, and new builds across 15 markets that maximize your cash flow, your appreciation, your equity. Rent to Retirement help investors build a business plan to achieve financial freedom. You can learn more at renttoretirement.com. That's renttoretirement.com. Our guest today is somebody that I see at just about every conference around the nation when it comes to real estate investing. He is with the Bridge Loan Network. Let's welcome Jacob Therian to the show today. Jacob, so glad you're joining us.
Eddie, great to see you as always. So excited to be on the podcast today. I always love when I can capture not only your audience, but the great investors that we have across the country. So thank you for having us on.
Absolutely. I know that you've got your finger on the pulse of a lot that's going on in the country because you're traveling, speaking, connecting with everybody from the broker side to the lender side to the real estate investor side. But if you don't mind, before we jump in and talk real estate investing, just give us a context for your background. I know you work for Bridge Loan Network, but what do you do there and what's your background?
Absolutely, yeah. So I was lucky enough to join Bridge Loan Network right after college. All I know now is software and real estate and investment properties. So I was very thankful to kind of stumble on into this industry. It wasn't for about 6 months until I really realized my potential here and the opportunities that there are within this industry. At the company, I'm really focused on developing partnerships, whether that be through our lenders or our brokers that use our software. I develop partnerships, use educational tools to help these people grow their businesses. And really the software that we offer is the platform for all of that.
That's awesome. And the platform there, Bridge Loan Network, really is connecting those people that are representing the borrowers all the way back to that capital, correct? And would you add anything to that?
Absolutely. Yeah, no. So we go all the way to investors, linking them to brokers, and the brokers all the way over to their lending partners. The software offers a lot of opportunity to organize these deals, relay specific information, access documents, things of that nature. It really just helps structure the process and give transparency to everybody that's involved in the transaction.
Yeah, I love that. And I love it because Think Realty is comprised of both real estate investor, lender, right? Brokers, it's all the above, and it seems like you have built something specific that helps them in this journey.
Absolutely. And, like I said, transparency is one of the most important things for all of these parties that you just mentioned. One of the things, and every time I talk, I feel like I'm mentioning this, but I think it's really important for everybody to understand is all of these people are utilizing data and information to make their next decision. The lenders, the borrowers, and the brokers themselves. So it's really important to give the transparency, allow everybody to have access to this information to make the decisions that are going to allow them to continue to succeed.
In this real estate investment space that we're all in today, it seems so volatile and unpredictable. And maybe it's unfair to ask you to do any type of prediction, but I know that you've got your finger on the pulse of the industry because of how much traveling and how many relationships you do have. What is Bridge Loan Network preparing for the next 12 months, 18 months? Like, what are you guys seeing and what are you preparing for?
Yeah, well, Eddie, to make a very long answer somewhat short, I would say just about anything as far as what these lenders are going to come up with to service the investors in our space. I would argue that the lenders that specifically work in the investment real estate side of things are amazing. Some of the best companies in the country at diversifying their product offerings to continue to make sure that not only themselves, but their clients, the end investors, continue to succeed in these changing markets. I'm not necessarily making predictions, but some things that I would tell everybody to look out for are rates are going to continue to change. They're going to continue to change, whether that's up or down. You need to continue to diversify your investment strategy to make sure if investments on 30 years, the interest rates are extremely high, you have other areas of opportunity for your investments, for your business to continue to grow.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of the lenders are even starting to adjust their programs to make it make sense for the real estate investor. I've started to see 10-in-1s offered and 7-in-1s offered. It's like you're starting to see these new kind of structured loans coming out because the rates are rising. Are you seeing that across the board? Are a lot of these lenders preparing to innovate and already beginning to innovate?
Yeah, I was going to say we've already seen some of these people come out with some very interesting and unique products to help these investors stay successful during these times. I would continue to look out for some new and interesting products to be offered by lenders. You know, when there are changes needed to be made by these lenders, oftentimes they're able to pivot. That's just the nature of our industry, right? They're able to pivot a little bit more easy than somebody on, let's say, the conventional banking side of things. So I would continue to expect to see lenders come up with very unique products. And not only that, I would expect them to continue to relay that information to investors. One of the things that I think is most important when we're talking to our investor audience is make sure you're having these candid conversations with your lenders, with your third party service providers, these people that are, in the industry. Have these conversations, ask them what they see coming, ask them, what are some of the more unique products that you offer right now? Because sometimes you may not be aware of what all these lenders can and are able to do for you as an investor.
Yeah, and I love the service you all provide is you really kind of expose the real estate investor to a lot of lenders that maybe offer unique products that, it's not trying to take people away from the current lender that they're using, but sometimes a lender has a very specific buy box. They have a very specific lending kind of criteria, and the real estate investment space is constantly moving, evolving, changing, making sure that they have a vehicle like a relationship with Bridge Loan Network and others, to make sure that that they have the opportunity, if they find the right deal, to match the lender with.
Absolutely. And I would argue that this information is available in so many different areas. I saw actually this morning a great report put out by Think Realty about the way the demand for rentals versus home ownership has changed, what of markets that is directly affecting or not affecting. I think information like that can help an investor make their next decision. And as you mentioned, some of these lenders, they are very specific, not only on products or where they lend. Having information and background about lenders that are specific in different areas can help you say, okay, I'm seeing that the changing tides are really affecting this market. There's an area of opportunity there. Let me find a lender that may be local to that market that knows the ins and outs of that area. So it's really, the information is everywhere, Eddie. I would definitely encourage folks out there to utilize tools like LinkedIn, obviously Think Realty, even tap into some of the other outlets like AAPL and some of the other publications that are out there. Because sometimes, lenders are putting out their most recent products. They're putting out information about the way that they think the market is going to change. And the more information that everybody can get their hands on, the better decisions that they're going to be able to make moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. A well-educated investor is always a better investor, and we need education and information more than we needed it ever before because the market is changing so quickly. You read that article this morning that came out by our platform, Think Realty. I'm curious to know your thoughts on that. I mean, so obviously we're seeing demand to some degree shift a little bit to rentals versus home ownership. Do you have any commentary on that?
I mean, I'll give you a very good anecdotal situation myself. As trying to be a first-time homeowner right now, it's really hard out there to compete with everybody else that's trying to buy a house, including experienced investors. If you're looking for something that might be referred to as a fixer-upper, a lot of those right now are being snatched up by investors. So it's really tough for first-time homeowners or people even that are looking to move to get their hands on a property. So like you mentioned, the increase for demand in rentals has really shifted, right? The people that have 30-year properties, the people that have multifamily or apartment complexes, they're probably doing really well right now. So I think from, like I said, somebody who's trying to buy a house right now, having your hands on some rental properties is probably a really good situation to be in. And the article itself, Eddie, it surprised me a little bit to see the specific markets where this stuff is being affected, or like I said earlier, not affected. There are some markets where this stuff hasn't really taken effect just yet. And I think there's some area of opportunity for investors to go out and grab some properties there.
Absolutely. Affordable housing is such an issue nationwide, but it's not just affordable housing. It's like you said, it's demand on housing and affordable housing. So the demand is so high that when you see something that is affordable, it just immediately goes away, or it's getting bid up to the place where it's not affordable anymore. And we're just in a really interesting time in our nation's history with regard to real estate. And I would kind of suggest that it's actually a little bit easier today to buy rental properties than sometimes than it is to buy your own single family, personal owner occupied dwelling. That's difficult today, but these private lenders have made it so easy to get into the rental space and to own a piece of the American dream that maybe you're not living in, but maybe you're helping somebody else live in. And I know that that's a service that you guys provide as well. So as you're kind of going down this path of real estate investing and providing maybe just some commentary for the real estate investor, what would you suggest? I mean, I know you suggested obviously reading and educating. Are there any other tools or things that you're seeing as you're traveling the country that maybe are new or innovative that you would give a plug for?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so in recent talks that I've had, whether it be on webinars or at conferences even, there's been a lot of talk about technology and the way that it's flooding our space. It really started with lenders, including our company, Bridge Loan Network. That's where we started, was working with lenders. Our software has now since trickled down to brokers, now even to direct investors. I've been seeing that to be the trend across the industry. A lot more technology flooding our space, being available for investors. So not only read up on your articles, watch your Think Realty podcasts and get your educational content there, but look out for other software offerings entering our space to help you folks do the best that you can in your investment life. One of the things that I definitely suggest for the real deal serious investor is they should have some type of a CRM, a customer relationship tool that's going to allow you to store contact information for your different lenders. We talked about diversifying your funding options, maybe locating a lender in a specific market. Make sure you save their information. Make sure you take down information about the types of products they do and stay organized with that information. Eddie, you mentioned it in these times, efficiency, turn times, really important. You as the investor, you don't want to hold up your own deal. So if you can have contact information for your title agents, for all your third-party people that you're working with, including lenders, it's going to allow you to more efficiently execute these transactions, move on to your next, etc. So look at more software coming into our industry specifically for you guys as investors.
Yeah, I love that. We have seen a lot of cycles, and obviously maybe you haven't experienced maybe one of the earlier cycles like I did in my early investing career. But as we kind of go through these real estate investment cycles, and really nobody knows where we're headed. I mean, every economist has one thing in common as we've interviewed them on Think Realty, and that is they refuse to predict anything, and they really have no clue what's on the horizon, right? And that's just the nature of where we are in this space. But what we do know in real estate is what comes up must go down, right? And we are at unprecedented highs. And we're seeing a plateauing in the market even today, where things are going to shift and move. And if you've never, Think Realty listener, viewer, I need you to listen to me for a second. If you've never been through a recessive period or a downturn or even a flattening, what you need to focus on, and I know that you either get hyper-focused on the deal or you get hyper-focused on the money. What you actually need to get focused on in this period of time is efficiency. Efficiency is everything. I know that my friends that went out of business in 08 and 09 were making tons of money but lacked efficiency, and so when the market turned, they weren't ready to take advantage. However, the most wealthy real estate investor friends that I have, including some of the deals that I've been able to take advantage of, happened right after that downturn. Because of my efficiency, I was able to stay in the game and get deals at an unprecedented low and find opportunity now for close to, I mean, we're going on 14 years now worth of just a crazy market. And so, platforms like the Bridge Loan Network help you provide that efficiency, right? And sometimes it's going to help you find it, directly, but also indirectly, right? And so, Jacob, I know that sometimes in the mind of a real estate investor, they look at a broker, for instance, and they go, you know what, I want to go direct to the money source. And they try to skip the broker. I know one thing that you guys provide is a link between brokers and all the other capital sources that are out there. And using a broker in the real estate investment space is not a bad thing because they've got their pulse. They know exactly who's lending, when they're lending, what their appetite for lending is. And I use brokers. As a matter of fact, I've got deals down in Florida right now that I'm using a broker on, and I could go directly to the lender, but I wanted her to play that role of in this space when rates are moving and things are changing, that she's going to have to play this game of efficiency for me and find the best deal between all these lenders. And so I know that they may not see it, but the Bridge Loan Network really provides that streamlined efficiency between all those processes so that they're not paying higher rates than they necessarily have to.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the things that I'd love to hit on that you just mentioned there is the efficiency factor. Let's be honest, as investors, you guys probably have a lot better things to do than to be comparing rates or points or what fees are going to be associated with this lender as opposed to this lender. I think the fact that you said, Eddie, you work with brokers should be a loud kind of alert out there to the rest of our investors. Don't shy away from using brokers if you know a good one, because they're well versed in this stuff. They know a lot of different lenders. Their job is to know the changes that lenders make and what they're offering currently. So using a broker, especially a good one that's utilizing resources like Bridge Loan Network and the other things that are available for them, is really a great tool for you guys as investors to focus on other things. If you're a GC, right, and you're the guy actually doing the work on your properties, you don't really have time to be comparing rates or points on loans. You want somebody else to take a look at that stuff, come to you with the best option and say, okay, let's move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And the one benefit to a broker is oftentimes I'll try to stick with my lenders that I've done business with for years. I love the loyalty. I love the relationship, aspect of real estate investing. However, oftentimes the best rates I get are based on a long-term relationship I have with a lender. It's not like the conventional space where they just offer you the best rate they can. A private lender oftentimes are lending their own discretionary capital or investors' capital, so they're way more particular on who they're lending with, who they're going to take risks on, how much risk they're going to take. And sometimes when I'm jumping to a new lender, I'll use a broker because they've already got established relationships with these lenders and they'll fight on my behalf. I don't have to go in and try to prove that I've had a 20-year track record in real estate investing and so I actually let them kind of go in and be the warrior on my behalf to tell my story to the, why they should cut me a deal, why they should. And what I found is that brokers are worth their weight in gold if they're willing to go in and fight for you. And because oftentimes they have lots of relationships more than even we have as investors. And I know that, networks and platforms like yours make that possible because they can get exposed to a lot of lenders out there. We've got just a minute left, but any last thoughts or advice, maybe suggestions you would make to real estate investors out there? And then also, if you don't mind, tell them how to get in touch with you, how to see the platform, and best ways to interact.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I would say I'm not going on a limb, and I'm not making any predictions myself either. So I'm going to fall in that same lane as the rest of the folks that you guys have been speaking to. But what I will tell everybody is just be prepared for what we don't see on the horizon right now, right? Diversify your investment opportunities. Partially, or part of that rather would be diversifying your funding options. If you're not doing a deal with a lender, it might be helpful even just to find out what they do offer. You know what I mean? You might not necessarily have to have a transaction for them at that given time, but do some prodding, see what unique products are available out there, see where somebody might fit on a one-off situation. Like you said, Eddie, those long-term relationships are oftentimes very, very fruitful because these private lenders, they are flexible. They do love working with repeat investors. But on those one-offs, make sure that you take their information, these new lenders that you may meet, keep that handy, use them in the future when it applies. Now, diversifying your funding options will help you be prepared for any future shifts that come in the market. So when things change, as I mentioned, I'm having a very tough time buying a house right now. I'm considering new construction. So if you're a GC, you've been doing a lot of fix and flips, take a consideration into entering in that ground up construction space. Find some lenders that are, well known in that space and see what that might look like taking the next step for your business. So be prepared to shift, diversify your options, and really just be prepared for anything, honestly.
That's great. And how do they take a look at the platform, maybe see what you have to offer or connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is bridgeloannetwork.com. You can see some tidbits about the software, our offerings there. You're able to request and schedule a demo with us as well. We have individuals that are uniquely specialized in the different aspects of our software. So if you were a lender, you would get a lender representative. If you were an investor, you would get an investor representative. So if you send something into us, know you're going to get somebody that specializes within your sector of the industry. Also, check us out on LinkedIn and our other socials. We're very active there. We post a lot of great educational content, and you'll also see us interacting with other great companies like Think Realty and other awesome educational content that's available.
Thank you so much, Jacob, for joining us today. As always, you provide great value to the viewer and the listener. I appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it as always.
Absolutely. Before we go, let me just give you a quick update on our Think Realty conference in Tampa. It takes place July 21st and 22nd, and you can set your sights on making sure that you know where to go in this real estate investment marketplace as things are changing. And we're giving a special deal to podcast listeners. You can go to thinkrealty.com/Tampa or go to thinkrealty.com and go to the link at the top called Events. And you can go there and you'll put in the coupon code once you check out with two tickets or more. If you put in the coupon code podcast, it'll give you a buy one, get one free. It'll discount one to $0 for you there. As a thank you for watching the podcast and being a part. I want to say a quick thank you to Rent to Retirement, our podcast sponsor today. There's 20% return investing in turnkey rentals. Sound attractive? Rent to Retirement offers fully turnkey properties. They're newly built, renovated, leased, and managed, allowing you to invest with confidence out of state. They have single-family, multifamily, and new builds across 15 markets that maximize your cash flow, your appreciation, your equity. Rent to Retirement help investors build a business plan to achieve financial freedom. You can learn more at renttoretirement.com. That's renttoretirement.com. As always, make sure you connect with us. Join us on social. Connect with us. Let us know what you think, what you need, what you're hoping for. You can follow me at Eddie Wilson Official at all of my platforms such as Instagram and Facebook and all the others. And then also you can follow Think Realty. And just follow along. We'll keep trying to provide you great value. If you don't get the magazine to your doorstep, go to thinkrealty.com and subscribe, or you can go to Barnes & Noble or any of the places that it's provided and buy that. It's a great value, great resource to you, and you want to make sure that you get that each and every month. So thank you so much for watching today. We'd love to hear any feedback you have on the show. Appreciate it. Have a great day and happy investing.